let's start with this purple, but I don't see me sticking with it because that is probably a bit too saturated, or maybe a bit too purple actually. Let's undo that and just fiddle with the HSL values, HSV values. So let's take the value up and the saturation down. So that's a good level. What's that? Something like that.
I'll probably go for something that's not quite as saturated.
More vibrant.
Probably a bit darker.
Okay, so
Yeah, so we'll move that down, slightly less saturated. So it kind of looks almost like the flesh is, slightly less. I'd go for less saturated. That way it kind of makes the flesh look like there's not so much blood flow to it. You remember when we were checking out on survival horror games the other day, where kind of they've used desaturated colours to kind of create this sort of dead feel to the environment. I always think for like reptilian males, it's nice if the insides look kind of like dead and stagnant, especially if it's kind of like a malevolent reptile. It kind of just makes it feel like that bite is definitely going to be kind of toxic and nasty.
keep it red but darker.
Keep it red but darker.
Darker red.
Try.
Put more red in it. Keep it red. Let's go for a middle ground.
Okay, cool.
Let's add some more red in the RGB. Let's put red up. Right to there. What's that? So that's a good colour. Something like that.
Whereabouts are we? Yeah, so it's still a bit too like bright for my taste, to be honest. Like if you were to like really desaturate it, so drag it all the way down. Yeah, probably about there. I kind of like those sort of, it kind of looks really sort of dirty, to be honest.
More reds with the probably game. Oh, don't want to do that.
You've overdone it there, mate. Sorry.
Something like that. It's like a Komodo dragon. It is a bit like a Komodo dragon, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna start making a bit less Komodo soon, because I want to add a few more gems down its back.
Komodo dragons are like the second coolest reptile to crocodiles, really, aren't they? Aren't they?
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, they're kind of scary though.
They're terrifying.
Don't they have like a something about their mouths that's like rotten?
Yeah,
or like
they've got bacteria in their
Yeah.
mouths. It's just deadly. If you get bitten by them, you'll die of septicemia within a very short period of time.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Sorry. Yeah, it's not really cheerful, is it? I shouldn't really say that.
Okay, do you wanna take it for a second?
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
we need to press the button, don't we? Can you just swap it to the
Do you know which one?
left? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the left. Awesome.
Well, I don't think that's changed it.
There you go.
There we
Sweet.
go.
Cheers.
Okay, awesome, thanks for that.
So you can see I've started adding more rocks to the legs just here. I don't want to overdo it much more than that, because I just want to give people the feeling like it's made out of rock. I don't just want to kind of kill it with detail. So we're still going to have like blank areas like this, but just sort of like little sort of flavours of what it's made out of around the place. People saying the toes are a bit too square, definitely agree with that. So I've tried to add a big chunk of rock just here, and I'll continue building on that round here now. So you can see how we kind of adjust the model. If you've got any feedback on the models, just absolutely keep telling us. It's really useful having like direct player feedback like this. Normally we'd have to post on Twitter or Reddit, and it'd take quite a while to actually get a decent amount of feedback that we can actually react to. So definitely just keep going. So yeah, I'm going to create some cuts around here. You can see like we've got the lava just here, so it's kind of the most useful place to put the highlights is kind of near the lava. Because the detail is very limited, it's kind of difficult to ever sort of get a good sense of light direction. So where I can, I will always try to do that. So it kind of feels like this is shot. I think at this point I'm actually going to start adding in a lighter tone of this. So we've actually got a highlight which is not associated with the lava itself. I'll move that up to probably a 10. So all this dark one is all 6s across the board in the RGB. So if I had one that's all 10 across the board, you can actually have a nice highlight that shines on top of it. It's a bit too bright there, sorry, I'll move it down to all 8s. Oops. Let's do it again. There we go, cool. So it kind of feels like there's a secondary light direction, like the world light direction that's actually shining on these rocks now, and then we've got a light coming from the lava as well. It's often very difficult to kind of establish light on these models because we don't actually have much light in game. We've just got one light which is in the world, and then the rest of the light we have to sort of colour into the model, and because we've got limited polygons as well, it kind of creates other complications as to how well we can do that. So we try eventually where we can, but it's not always possible. Right, so I think I'm just going to move this area over a bit so that actually really stands out a bit. It looks a bit square, you can see there's like a big square in the middle. I don't really want that, so let's just kind of make that a bit more uneven. Let's move that across, and we'll move this one down a bit as well. That might affect the deformation during animation, because really this area here is where I want to deform the knee, so we'll just keep an eye on that a bit later on and might adjust that again. Cool, so I say like this light fall off would happen around here as well, so if I just introduce that grey here, it kind of feels like there's a transition of the light there, however basic, it's still kind of something that your eye can detect. And yeah, I think like on top of these toes as well, I think we can start, yeah, so it kind of makes them feel like they're more like separate pieces of rock. That's fine. It's going to be a giant, it is going to be a giant for sure. I can probably add like, I don't really want to start adding more shading in here, but I just can't help it, this thing's just going to look better. Yeah, that's going to look better, I think, like that. So, oddly enough, I really like these feet, and they're no longer the bane of my life. I just want to keep working on these feet and start dragging all this sort of randomised detail up the legs, I think. Hopefully, do people in the arms being different sizes make it vote? Yeah, I think the arms should be different sizes as well. I might give it these really sort of big boulder like mace-like hands, so it actually slams its hands down on top of you. We can make like hammers, we can make like maces, or we can just make like simple spherical objects with sort of cracks of lava in them and stuff. But I think its hands should act, instead of like hands, more like primary weapons. So it's kind of almost like this thing that exists purely to break things and destroy them, which is kind of a cool concept for a boss, I think.
What?
So let's just chuck some more of this in. There we go, it's really starting to feel rocky now. Bit concerned that this is getting a bit busy around here now though, with that extra sort of toning. I might actually just select this one here. See, what I've got to do is I'm going to drag that out, select that colour again. But then I might actually just apply it to here, because I don't think those colours work well together, and then we've just got a transition from smelting and smithing and making metal work, so I always associate with melee. So I kind of feel like this actually looks like a melee boss now. Whether or not you agree with that is a different matter, I'm not sure. The chat just lets us know whether they think it should be all melee. Yeah, someone said all melee please, but so just let us know your opinions and let us think if you think there should be multiple combat styles or just one combat style. So I'm just going to keep adding rocks with this, which might get a bit boring to watch, so we'll switch back over to Wes, because he's probably got to add his crystals in now by the looks of it, haven't you?
Yep.
Cool.
Sounds good. So, once we swap over to me, I'll just go through what I've been changing. Give us a second. Can we just swap over to my screen, please? Thank you very much. Cheers. Okay, so I've got it back into 3S Max, and I'm just getting the colours more consistent from what I had earlier. Obviously, again, the colours are definitely not what you can't even see them anyway because I'm not in Max yet. There we go. It's a good thing I was on stream all that time, was it?
We're going to keep doing that. We're going to, we can't help it.
Cool, so yeah, I've changed it so I've just taken it back to Max. I've added these gems to the back going down its tail, so there's again smaller as they go down. Obviously it's hard to really see what they look like at the moment because they are still green, but they will be black at some point as well. I've also gone into the mouth and made the gums darker, just to give that a bit more of a, just make it look a bit different. And what should I work on next? I want to work on something that blends the skin with the crystal to give some more of a transition, because it kind of just looks like it's making it look more like it's grown around it instead of just kind of sat on top. But yeah, it's just like what I'm saying, red eyes. I could still make the eyes red.
This kid's trying to fucking
sounds like you're teasing them. I might do that.
Yeah, just looking at the feedback, so it's good.
Now if I can make declaws are back in, baby. Holy! What the F? That thing looks like a truck. boxing me. Jet boxing. Alright, dude. Please. Ticky fam? What is. I don't even know what ticky fam is. Something? Come on. Give me a little something, something, you know? Hey! I need to die now so I can go get more shit. Somebody kill me. You. Kill me. Kill me! God damn it, dude. Nobody's killing me. This guy, dude. Kill me.